Hi, guys. We are talking today about how to solve any problem in your business. So, what do I mean by that? I don't just mean things that are going on right now with COVID 19. I mean, anytime you have a problem in your business, anytime you have an angry client or a team member not doing what you thought they were supposed to be doing, or you've agreed to, all of that, okay? I really want you to kind of have these tools in your back pocket for when the next problem comes up. And I always tell people, we are problem solvers. Like, that is what we do. As a business owner, you are a problem solver, whether you like it or not. That is something that you are going to have to get really good at, because unfortunately, problems pop up in our business all the time, right? Every day, maybe every hour. And we've just got to get really good at being okay with seeing the problem, dealing with it, resolving it, and moving forward. Now, as you are getting these problems to come in, you have options. You can be stressed out, you can not deal with it, you can procrastinate on fixing it for the future, or you can understand that problems and challenges in your business will make you stronger every single time you get through it, okay? So remember that as the next problem comes up, right? It feels like multiple times a day right now, especially in the time that we're in where our businesses are shut down, or some of us are shut down. Things are different, things are changing. We're heading into a recession, right? There's other things that are popping up. So I was actually talking with a client this morning. She was having a problem. This is a great example to give you a real example here, but she was having a problem with a client that they just weren't on the same page, and she was not following the contract. Now, we kind of worked through this together. And this is a common one that I see with a lot of people. And one thing that I told her was, this is normal growing pains, right? In the beginning, you're just hoping for anybody. You would say yes to anybody that came your way. You're looking for any clients that you can. So you get excited and you take somebody on, and then you don't know, or maybe you forget because you're newer, certain steps that have to go in place. So maybe before, you never had a contract, and then you had all these problems. So you put a contract into place. Then you put a contract into place, but then you realize no one's checking to see if they signed the contract, right? We even had this situation inside of Foot Traffic Formula when we first got started. We had a contract, and they would supposed to fill out the contract, and the next step was joining our Facebook group. And all of a sudden we realized people were joining the Facebook group. We were accepting them in, and they had yet to sign the contract. So we were like, whoa, we've got to catch this. We've got to figure this out. They have to sign the contract before they can come in and get coaching, and so on. It sounds so obvious, but it's not when you're in the moment and you are growing into that stage, okay? So going back to my client this morning, a couple things that I said to her that I want you to stop and assess, okay? So the first thing is, let's just look at the problem here. Let's assess the situation, and let's figure out where this could have been prevented, which I know people always think, but that doesn't help me right now. It's already over. It's already happened. I want to move on and help this person or figure this out, come to an agreement. But if we don't fix the problem, we're just going to have to deal with it again and again and again. So I need you to stop what you're doing and really assess, where could this problem have been prevented, okay? One of the questions that I like to say is, what is something I could have done to make sure this problem didn't happen? Now, the reason I want you to take ownership here is because a lot of times entrepreneurs, we like to blame other people. We like to complain about the client. We like to complain about the person on our team that isn't following what we've assigned him or her to do, right? We like to place the blame other places. And I say we as in all of us, right? Whether you're a business owner or not. But what I want you to be thinking about is there anything I could have done, even if it was somebody else's? Let's say this contract thing happened, and I am not the person checking the contracts. It's somebody else, okay? It's not on my plate. It's not on my to-do list. It's somebody else's project, and they have dropped the ball. I still will ask myself, but is there something I could have done to make sure that that didn't happen? Maybe I could have had somebody hold that person accountable and double check the contracts, right? Maybe I could have had them reporting to me every Monday with our key performance indicators that yes, 100% of the contracts have been signed. Do you see what I'm saying? There's always a little loophole of something that we, the CEO, could have done that we didn't. And now we're in this situation, whether or not it is our fault. If you're like, no, this person's totally breaking the contract. Yes, but you didn't make her sign it. So therefore, she never agreed to it, right? So these are things that I want you to start to understand. You have to take ownership and responsibility in your business, whether or not you have a team and somebody else is doing this, okay? So that's that. First, we're going to ask ourselves, what could I have done? Okay. Now you've got that. Now, if whatever the answer is, go put that into place. Okay. Again, if you are so focused on, but no, I have to respond to this client right this second, right? You will miss some of the steps that you need to put into place in the future. And you might have this problem again in a day, in 3 days, in a month, in 3 months, right? So you've got to make sure you're watching yourself figure out this problem so that you do not have it again later, okay? If you cruise and send that email out to this client, try to just skip assessing and just go to it and take care of it, you're not going to see all of the things you just did to make this right in the future, okay? So you do have to kind of cut your losses in some of these areas where, unfortunately, you dropped the ball, you didn't do the things you wanted to be doing or should have been doing. So therefore, you may have to compromise here, right? You may have to come to an agreement with this client, with this team member, and then moving forward, come together with a new system, a new contract, whatever that looks like, okay? So the biggest thing I want you to see here, though, is there is a lack of a system, okay? Every problem that hasn't been followed, or I should say every problem that occurs, it probably is something that there is not a system on, or you have deviated from the current system. So moving forward, we need to make sure we put a system into place to make sure this doesn't happen again. And you're constantly asking, what do I need to do to prevent this? So one of the things at my academies, at my dance studios, we have a very long waiver that they have to sign, right? There's a whole bunch of stuff in there, and everything is very, very important. But do you know what people do when you show them a sheet of paper and you say, sign right here? They go, okay, cool. Sign. Here you go. Okay, just like that doesn't solve my problem. I've gotten you to sign a piece of paper, which I need you to understand what I'm actually asking for. I need you to understand and agree to what we are asking for, right? So what we realized was nobody reads these pieces of paper, right? So not only do we make them sign it, but we actually have to verbally make sure that they know these 3 really, really important pieces. So the things that people typically complain about, we made sure now became a system where we verbally share that information. So one was we charge on the 15th of the month, every single month, unless you drop, right? We're going to keep charging you unless you come to us. We make sure we verbally say it, and then we make sure the initial right next to that one sentence so that they can't say we didn't tell them. Not only did we tell them, not only did they sign it, but they even initialed next to the sentence, right? It's not about getting their signature. It's about them actually understanding what it is you are saying, right? So we looked at that. We were like, wow, this is a problem. People are still complaining even though they signed it. So what do we do? Well, we could verbally state it, right? Now, let's say that wasn't working. We're verbally stating it. We're still getting people on the 16th to call an email and say, what is going on? Why are we getting charged, right? Okay, well, maybe we could send out a reminder on the 13th and we could go, hey, everybody, don't forget, billing happens in 2 days. If you need to cancel, here's a link, something like that, right? So now this isn't something we actually do. We don't have that problem, but if we did, that is what we would do moving forward, right? You just constantly keep saying, why isn't this working? How do I make it better? What can I do in the meantime, right? And then continue to move on. So when you are problem solving, you are constantly running into this problem that is a new problem, right? Because if you've done it already, you've got a system, so you've already solved it. So these are new problems that are occurring. You put the system into place and you continuously refine that system or that solution, okay? Now you need to make sure you are writing it down. Even if it is just you, I want you to have a system in place or something written that somebody could go back later if you're training or a team member needs to do it and you have that in place. So let's say you got a refund request because of everything that is going on, okay? Maybe you've never had to write an email back in a situation like this, right? In an economic downturn where everybody's losing their jobs. Maybe you've never had to respond to somebody like that. So what do you need to do? Well, you need to come up with an email, but you want to save that email as a template. So we use Gmail, Google Suites, we are a big fan of. And in Gmail, you can have these little saved templates. Make sure to save that template so you have it again next time, right? So you are assessing what could we have done? How do we handle this now? But then in the future, what is the system moving forward? Save every single thing you have, okay? And understand that problems will happen. You will continuously run into something you've never dealt with before, right? We've been in business for almost 18 years. I have never experienced what we're going through right this second until right this second, right? The 2020, having COVID, all of a sudden hit us, that has been something new, right? I remember we were in a situation where I believe the studios were open and the tornado sirens were going off. We had never had that before. So there was no system in place for what do we do when a tornado siren goes off, right? So in the meantime, we're problem solving. The team is calling, they're checking in. What can we do? How should we handle this, right? They're talking to management and people that can help them. And then as soon as it's done, we document it moving forward, okay? So you handle it in real time and document those systems. Know that problems will happen, right? New things will happen, new level, new devil every time you are growing in your business. But there is always a solution, right? You need to be open-minded. You need to know and remind yourself that you are a problem solver. You can figure this out. You're going to get through this, right? But I want you to know that knowing that there's a solution, it might not always be you that has the solution to solve it. So a lot of times as the CEO, we put the pressure on us to figure out what this looks like. But you can get your clients involved. You can get your team involved. I know sometimes when we have an irate customer who has a very specific, what she thinks should be happening or any of that, we'll say to this person, do you have any suggestions for us on how we should or could be handling this or how we could handle it better, right? A lot of times if we get these unreasonable requests and we're like thinking, yes, in a perfect world, that would be amazing. Like for instance, we have 1,000 dancers, right? We have six showcases. And let's say there's like 4 siblings and people are thinking, but I want my 4 kids in the same show. And we're like, we get that. But you see, you're in group classes and the siblings in this class are in this class and in that class. And then basically what you're requesting is one dance recital with 1,000 people. That's going to be 7 hours long. You don't want that, right? So do you have a suggestion for us maybe? Like, do you have another example or anything like that? Now, what's nice is if it's so unreasonable, they go, no, I guess what you are doing is really what you should be doing, right? So it all of a sudden makes them figure it out. Or they actually say, well, have you ever thought about this? And we get a really good answer, okay? So again, you will find out if there's ways to tweak this or not, but ask your customers. And we don't say it to be rude, to be thinking, we came up with the best idea. No, we're really wondering, like, are we not seeing something here that you think we could be doing and fixing the situation, all right? I would say 50% of the time they say, no, I guess your solution is the best fit. Great. That's a win for us, right? We're compromising. And then the other person brings us this amazing idea, which makes our business better and they feel heard. They feel even more loyal to us because we're taking their opinions and their concerns into consideration, right? It's a win-win when you ask your customers for suggestions, all right? Now, the other thing is talk to your team. Let your team know what problems you're having or what situations are going on and see if they have any ideas. Again, I've said this a couple times this week. You have to drop your ego. I know sometimes we want to be the person that comes up with the idea, right? But we all win. It's our business, right? It's our team. If somebody on your team comes up with that idea, you still get to win. Do not let your ego be so stuck in the way that you can't let other team members be winning and therefore helping you. So be really careful you aren't doing that, okay? Yeah, so ask for feedback, ask for suggestions. That's really the biggest thing I can say to you is it doesn't have to come from you, okay? So, number 1, let me just recap real quick. Number 1, you are basically looking at what could have happened, what could I have done, taking responsibility for something that you could have done, right? And then I want you to ask yourself, what are we going to do moving forward, and document that. And then get your team, get your clients to help out if you get stuck, or maybe there's a better opportunity, better opinion. Don't forget to survey your clients. Survey your clients and ask them. They might come up with some incredible ideas, okay? All right, guys, I hope this was helpful. The next time you come to a problem in your business, stop and pause. Give yourself grace that you've never experienced this before. This is a growing pain. You will get better, right? You will figure out a system and you will not have this happen again. You'll know how to handle it when or if it does. And then you will be able to continue to repeat this process, okay? If you are not in the foot traffic community, you guys, it's our free Facebook group. Go over there. Make sure to jump in there. Completely free. We have so many recession-proofing videos. You can go binge all of those right now. I'm going to be back tomorrow talking about the big opportunity in times like this and how to take advantage of it. So that's tomorrow's episode. Actually, no, I'm totally lying. I'm not. It's not right. That is actually going to be happening next week. Tomorrow, I actually have one of my foot traffic coaches. She's one of the head coaches, Claire. She's going to be here. She's only going to be on my fan page at Stacey Tuschel on Facebook and in our free foot traffic community Facebook group. So make sure to join her. Claire's going to be sharing some really cool stuff. She gets to see way more behind the scenes than I do, really going in deep with a lot of our clients and sharing a lot of stuff, what's working, what's not, all of that. So make sure to tune in tomorrow. And then I'll be back next week, Monday. Okay, so I want to make sure you see that. And then for those of you really ready to get into Foot Traffic, our accountability and marketing program, our group coaching program, go to foottrafficprogram.com to learn more about the details. We do have another workshop coming up really soon on April 27th. More details will be coming. So stick with us. Lots of good stuff coming your way, you guys. All right. Have a great rest of your day, your week, because I will not see you tomorrow. I'll be back on Monday, but you will see Claire. You're going to love her, you guys. A lot of you already know her. She's part of my dream team. She's been with me for over almost 4 years, and really working with a lot of our clients to show you what's working, what's not, etc. Okay. All right, guys, have a great week. I will see you really soon. Bye, everyone.